Hi y'all, this is Fern from the House of Glamour. I'm going to show you guys something. I have a client who came in and she's been having a problem with a wig that she loved the wig, but the wig started shedding. So it was a lace front. What I did with the lace front, we took all the hair off of it and we did this, and it looks like this now. And then the front of it is shed so bad, like this, that we just figure we're just going to take it all off. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove all this netting. If you notice this here, all this netting is going to come off. And then there's a hole in the back here, so we're going to repair that with another net. But let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this wig, this right here, and because the wig is big, she said it didn't fit. So we're going to take this, and I'm going to show you how we do that. We're going to take this to make it fit. These are things we got to work on first. So we're going to take it, and we're going to actually fold that over and fold this over on the sides, and we're going to taper it in, and it'll make the wig tighter, okay? It'll just bring it in nice and tight. See, we're just going to do like this. So look at this a little closer, and we're going to just fold that in, and we're going to stitch it, and I'm going to show you how that's going to be done too. And we're going to do it like that, and that's going to fix that. And then up here, where this gap is, we're going to take and we're going to use Brazilian hair to attach onto here. This hair is Brazilian. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, we're going to do that. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to use some netting. And I'm going to just cut a piece of it out. And I'm going to put it right over top of this hole. And I'm going to stitch it all the way around the edges here to get that to stay tight. And that'll be my base for the tracks to go on. And then when that's on, I'm going to take this, which is called a closure. You can also get them in a frontal, which means it'll cover from 3 to 4 inches from the back to the front and 12 inches around the sides. So this one isn't like that. That's not what we got. We have, she actually wanted a little different. So we're going to show you how we're going to build this out too, because all of this is going to be cut away. I'm going to add this lace netting all in here to create a whole brand new hairdo for her. We're going to show you this in step very shortly, just bit by bit. This will end up here on the top, and we'll stitch that down, but we'll get to that in a minute. But right now we're going to show you how we're going to take this and get it tight and stitch down. And I'm going to get this prepared and get it ready. I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and I'll be right back in a few minutes, okay? I'll be back. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you, being I'm using a mannequin's head. I'm taking that track that I was telling you right here on the edge, which is elastic. I'm just taking, I'm folding it over just enough over that. And I'm taking my thread with my needle, and I'm just going right up in there. And I'm going to just start stitching this in to make this a little tighter for her, because it was a little bit on the loose side and she didn't feel comfortable with it. So I'm just going to do this on both sides. And if you notice where I did that, I'm only doing it like right in this perimeter here because we don't want no bulkiness. So we're going to do it there, and then we're going to come over here. We're in that little netted area, and we're just going to fill the soft part, and you're just going to bring it there. And already that's tight. Just already. If you notice the difference from that to doing this, you will see it's definitely tighter than it was. Okay, I'm going to finish these up, these two here, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to start attaching the net. I'll be back in a few. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm actually just stitching this net to this perimeter right around here. I'm taking this net, because this hair needs a base. It needs something to lay on. So we're going to do that before we go to the next step. So we're just stitching this all the way around to make this a little tighter. And then we're going to add the hair to that area. Okay, so see what I'm doing? Just make it stitch all the way around. And as you continue around, just continue all the way around. And I'll be back with this being finished and the rest of this, and I shall be back in a few minutes. What I'm doing is I'm just trimming away all the old existing net. We're going to replace it with something else. Just take and cut close to the perimeter of the wig frame and just take all this off. And just do that on both sides, because now you're going to replace it with, oh, sorry my lady. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to replace all that with this here. And as I said, we're going to just take, you need to mark it, because you know the person's forehead is going to come down. So you figure if you mark it, that's where it's going to start, and this is where it's going to stop, so they can use it as a natural part in the top here. Okay, so we're going to come back in a few minutes after I cut this off, and I'm going to show you next how I'm going to add this netting right around the back here, okay, right around the face area, okay? I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm actually making a front perimeter. I took this very netting and I'm just sewing it right around the front here. We won't cut this off just yet. We're going to eventually attach the lace top, the closure, and we're going to cut the underneath out and continue to attach it to the sides here. And we're going to show you that in a few minutes, but just to let you know that if you take this and just stitch it right up underneath there and just connect all that right to the edges or the perimeters of what you cut away, and so you can create something to support wefts of hair. So just see, I'm just showing you just a few stitches here so you can see. You don't want to make it smack dab super duper tight either, because you don't want it to buckle and get curly. See what I did? I'm just going just like that and picking up that. And don't cut this away yet until after you get your netting up there, or maybe you get your customer and you cut it to shape around her hairline, because you're going to attach your wefts to this here. So I'm going to continue this out, and then I'll be back to show you how I'm going to attach the actual closure in the top. Okay? So now I'm back, and I'm taking this closure, and I'm actually going to, where I marked my point where I'm going to put it. You see how I already completed this. We will not cut this off just yet. We're going to take this closure and we'll bring it up to that pin, right where I put that stick pin at, just so I'll know what I'm doing there. And then I'm going to take the closure and attach it to that netting right around the perimeter, and then I'm going to take the net, all that netting, attach everything right all along here. All this is going to be attached all through here. I'm not going to attach the front, and I'll show you why later. And we're going to attach it all to the back and all to the other side. So I'll do all that, and I'll be back again to show you how that looks in the end of that. Alright? I'll show you here. So I'm taking that very part that I mentioned to you earlier, the closure, and I'm just actually going around and I'm attaching it right to the net that I put on. I'm just going right around the perimeter. I'm making this net so it'll stay all the way around. We're going to do this all the way around the whole thing, all but the front. So when I get here, I will continue doing this until I get there on both sides. And when I get here, I will stop. I will not go any further. And the same thing will happen there to the other side too. Okay? So when I'm ready to move on to the next point, I'll be back to show you some more. What I'm going to do, I'm taking this here. This is Brazilian Deep Wave. It's beautiful. It's really silky, soft. It should last her a lot longer. And the reason being is we added this product on there called Fabri-Tac. This is some really good stuff. I've used it for beading, and it works. So I put this right on the premise, right on the edges here, just a little on one side of it, just to help keep this hair from shedding, because that was her biggest problem, using the Magna-Tac to stop the shedding. And so far, of course, we don't get any shedding because we put this Magna-Tac on here, whereas the other hair was shedding like crazy. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to take this, and we're going to start wefting this hair. We're going to start putting it right to that old wig cap. And we're going to start working our way up the shaft. So we're going to see this here, then we'll go to this one, and then we'll go there, 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 and there, there. We're going to continue to follow what we have here. Leave the gaps open until later, because We may not need them, but we will. If we do need them, it'll be here, so we can always go back and fill that in. But we'll work on what we have first, then we'll go back and finish that in last, okay? But this is what we're going to do now. We're going to start stitching this in. And we start here, right here at the bottom, right around the bottom here. And I like to just get right up in there, stitch. Oh, hold on. It's not working for me. There we go. I get quite a few clients that come in, they want to save their wig caps, and stuff is getting so expensive, so the easiest way for them to save a little money, we take and we build the old wig cap and we take and add hair to it. And it does save some money from the price of the wig, but this is a little cheaper for them to afford. So what I'm doing is I'm stitching. If you can see that, I'm actually stitching this hair right to any existing weft tract I have on the bottom there. So if you can do this with your old existing wig, I think you're going to save yourself a lot of money. Buy yourself some hair, and you can always, if you don't like it, you can take it out, you can add other hair, and that's what I'm doing. But if you notice what I'm doing, I'm actually I'm just going up underneath there, and I'm actually picking up that looper thread right here, and I'm going back in, I'm pulling it, and I'm bringing it right back in, and I'm giving it a nice little tug. So let me show you that again, and we're pulling it right through there, and we're pulling it, we're giving it a nice little tug. Let me show you again, and then I'm going to pull it through and a nice little tug. Okay, you're probably noticing the pins here. The reason why the pins are here is because we tried this on that client and it was still a little loose for her. So what we did is we took these threads, these bands here, we're just bringing them down. We're just folding them right over. And I'm using the pins to hold it in place. That's all. So you can do the same thing when you should adjust your wig or your cap, because the caps tend to stretch out over time. So I'm going to show you again, and then I'm going to do some more of this, and I'll be back to show you what we're doing next, okay? So we're going to do this again. We're going in, making a slip knot, okay? So I'm going to continue this up, and I'll be back and show you some more. So now we're up as close to the top now on that the net mesh, as I mentioned to you, and now we're working our way up to the top. You might see a couple little gaps in here. It's only temporary. We're just filling in the majority of it, and then we're going to go back and fill in any gaps. And right now we're just trying to get the majority of it done. So we're almost at our completion, and I will be back to continue to finish up and show you the results.